1 to 2 feet. And for Wednesday, southeast winds 13 to 18 knots, increasing to 15 to 20 knots. Gusts up to 25 knots. Waves 1 to 3 feet. Slight chance of showers in the afternoon. On the Perdido Bay Area. For tonight, southwest winds 3 to 8 knots, becoming northeast. Waves less than 1 foot. For Tuesday, northeast winds 5 to 10 knots, becoming east 8 to 13 knots. Waves around 1 foot. For Tuesday night, southeast winds 8 to 13 knots. Waves around 1 foot. And for Wednesday, southeast winds 10 to 15 knots, increasing to 13 to 18 knots. Gusts up to 25 knots. Waves around 1 foot. From Pensacola to Pascagoula, and out 20 nautical miles. Small craft advisory in effect from Tuesday evening through late Saturday night. For tonight, southwest winds 3 to 8 knots, becoming east 8 to 13 knots. Seas around 1 foot. Dominant wave period 9 seconds. For Tuesday, east winds 10 to 15 knots, increasing to 13 to 18 knots. Seas around 2 feet, building to 2 to 3 feet. Dominant wave period 5 seconds. For Tuesday night, southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, increasing to 18 to 23 knots. Seas 2 to 5 feet. Dominant wave period 6 seconds. And for Wednesday, southeast winds 18 to 23 knots. Seas 4 to 6 feet. Dominant wave period 7 seconds. From Pensacola to Pascagoula, from 20 to 60 nautical miles offshore. Small craft advisory in effect from Tuesday evening through late Saturday night. For tonight, north winds 3 to 8 knots, becoming east 8 to 13 knots. Seas around 1 foot. Dominant wave period 4 seconds. For Tuesday, east winds 13 to 18 knots, increasing to 15 to 20 knots. Seas 1 to 3 feet. Dominant wave period 5 seconds. For Tuesday night, southeast winds 18 to 23 knots, increasing to 20 to 25 knots. Seas 3 to 5 feet. Dominant wave period 6 seconds. And for Wednesday, southeast winds 20 to 25 knots, diminishing to 18 to 23 knots. Seas 5 to 7 feet. Dominant wave period 7 seconds. Tidal information at the mouth of the Mobile River on Monday. Low tide at 9:16 a.m.
Alrighty guys, what is going on? I hope y'all are having a great day so far. Hope you guys have been staying safe here. We're getting ready to get into the live stream, so hang tight for 1 second. Hope y'all are having a wonderful day so far. Hope you guys have been doing good, and we're going to have a lot to talk about today because we have a bit of craziness that's expected here down the line. I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to have my volume on my tablet. I'm just trying to monitor the stream. Make sure it's going good, just so that you guys can have the best coverage you can possibly have here. But like I said, guys, hope y'all are having a great day so far, and we'll be getting into it here momentarily.
Mobile Bay Coast Guard Station. Winds for south at 9 knots. Sea temperature 54 degrees. Air temperature 56 degrees. Middle Bay Lighthouse. Winds for south at 12 knots. Weeks Bay. Air temperature 60 degrees. Pensacola Bay. South winds at 7 knots. Air temperature was 55 degrees. The report from the east end of Dauphin Island was not available. And Teddy Boy Island, southwest winds at 12 knots. Air temperature was 61 degrees. 70 miles south of Dauphin Island, winds were north at 6 knots. Air temperature was 58 degrees. Gulf water temperature 75 degrees. Wave heights 1 foot, with a period of 3 seconds. 12 miles south of Orange Beach. Winds for southwest at 8 knots. Sea temperature 59 degrees. Air temperature 54 degrees. Wave heights 1 foot. And 100 miles south of Destin,
Alrighty guys, so we're going to go ahead and get right on into the live stream here. We're going to go ahead and switch on over to our radar view here. What's up you guys? Hope y'all are having a great day so far. Hope you guys have been staying safe here. We're currently taking a look here at the radar view because we are seeing the beginning portion of the system actually already starting to take place here. Let me go ahead and open up my pen here so I can actually draw on the screen for you guys in terms of things. But if y'all are just now joining us, welcome. Hope y'all are having a great day so far. Hope you guys have been staying safe here. So we are currently taking a look here. This is our current radar view, and we actually, honestly, across a lot of the country, it is actually relatively clear for the most part. However, let's go ahead and bring my pen over here for you guys so I can actually draw on my screen. However, across the upper northwest, you might notice that there is a bit of activity actually currently ongoing across bits of California, northern portion of California into Oregon, Washington State, Idaho, as well as bits of western Montana. This is going to be the beginning portion of the system here. This is going to be the beginning. Now, what's going to happen is actually quite interesting. We're actually going to see a lot of this moisture that you currently do see here actually drive its way down here towards the central portions of the country. A new area of low pressure will develop across the central part of the country. And what's going to happen here is that we're going to get a brand new storm system starting to develop, bringing all types of weather. I mean, we're talking, we're talking heavy ice, heavy snow, severe weather as well. Unfortunately, tornadoes being a concern. We'll dive more than that here in a moment. But like I said, guys, honestly, we're here to give you guys the best coverage, the best, best information you all can get before this system occurs. Now, this is just a few days down the line at this point, so we need to monitor this really, really closely. We're probably going to be doing a preparedness stream for the next few days before the system hits. And of course, like I said, we are going to be going live whenever the system does occur. So that's something that we are going to look at. And like I said, right now we are currently seeing all of this moisture here. I'll actually zoom out a little bit so you guys can see that a little bit better here. So across the nation, we are seeing a bit of moisture that is impacting the upper northwest. Like I said, a lot of snow shower and moisture activity across bits of these regions here. This will drive its way down into the central portion of the country. We'll take a look at the models here in 1 second. But what's going to happen is that this is actually, once it kind of, once this area of low pressure kind of reaches this central portion of the country, I can use that in red, give it a better color here. So what's going to happen at this point is we're going to get a kick of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, moving its way into basically the system here. This is going to allow for things to really kick off here. And like I said, we are dealing with the threat of tornadoes. That is something we cannot take lightly. This is something we really need to monitor here because this seriously does have some pretty big potential. Over the models, the last few model runs, things have been getting quite worse, honestly. So we're going to monitor this here right now. So we're going to go ahead and switch on over, guys. We're going to take a look here at the models here. We're going to take a look here at the latest model outputs here. If you have any questions, guys, feel free to throw them down in the chat below. If you guys want a personal forecast or something like that, feel free to throw them down in the chat. I'll definitely try to get it to try to get it for you guys here. So like I said, we are currently taking a look at this. We're going to go ahead and switch on over here to our view here. So switching on over to the GFS model. This is based off of the southeast. So we're taking a look at the southeast right now. We'll get to the snowfall side here in 1 second. But right now we're taking a look here at the supercell composite. Now this basically just takes your wind energy as well as all your instability in the atmosphere, kind of blends them together, giving you an overall value here. So we do track down here in time. You will notice that those wind barbs start to kind of pick up here. And here's where we are seeing the threat of severe weather, kind of across this areas here where we are seeing basically this yellow, green, and darker green area here. This is basically where we are seeing the threat of severe weather to occur across these regions here. Now we're going to take a sounding, so we're going to go ahead and switch on over to this screen here so we can actually have a better view. So we're going to go ahead and take a sounding here right across bits of south central portion of Louisiana. We're going to take one right here and see what we are expecting here. But all the new people who are just now joining in, welcome. Hope y'all are having a great day so far. Hope you guys have been staying safe here. So here's the concern. I know you guys probably don't know how to read these maps, but what I am seeing here is that we are seeing some pretty interesting factors in the terms of things. So like I said, here at the surface, this is where things are going to get kind of crazy. So this is basically looking at the atmosphere from the lower portions to the upper portions here. This is the upper part of the atmosphere. This is the lower portion of the atmosphere. So at the surface, we're seeing the winds usher its way up here to the north. And as we go towards the mid-levels of the atmosphere, it changes directions to the northeast. So what this is actually showing is that as we go up in altitude, the wind direction is changing, which allows, this is the conditions needed for tornadoes to develop. You're actually seeing here. Andy says, what's up? What's up, Andy? Welcome to the live stream. Hope you're doing good, man. Glad to hear from you. But like I said, we are currently seeing this ongoing here. So we are seeing this hooking hodograph, which is, this is the hodograph portion right here. We actually are seeing that change in basically wind direction over altitude right here. It's even shown here in your hodograph. So this is what we are seeing here. So we are seeing those winds change. Now in terms of instability, basically any, the energy that's needed for thunderstorms to kick off here, we have enough. We're talking, well, for this sounding anyways, it's a little bit limited here, which would honestly probably not form a thunderstorm. But there is actually some other, other scenarios here. Let's actually change a look here to the mixed layer cape here. The really kind of, the most of the energy really starts to kind of kick in here, kind of around the evening hours, afternoon, evening hours here on the 17th. So this is currently what we are seeing at the moment. Now we are seeing, the mix, we actually are seeing this energy kind of pop up here in the 600. Hold on, I have to sneeze. Waiting for it. Okay, never mind. But we are seeing basically all of this energy starting to kind of pile up here around 600 joules per kilogram, which is definitely enough for thunderstorms to develop here. And like I said, if we get a normal thunderstorm that does develop, we are actually seeing what is going to happen. We actually are seeing, the possibility of these things becoming tornadic. So any thunderstorm that develops and goes through that wind shear, like I said, is changing in altitude, we are going to be seeing the threat for tornadoes. Like I said, we will take a look at the Storm Prediction Center here in 1 second. Andy says, will Western New York see high winds from this? That's a good question. But let's take a look at that actually here right now. So let me go ahead and change scenes here. We'll take a look at that right here for you. Oh my gosh, my camera's freaking out right now. But yeah, let's take a look at that right now here. We'll take a look at the models in regard to wind gusts just for you, Andy. Across bits of Western New York, will you see some heavy winds out of the system here? Alright, so we're going to go ahead and switch on over to the northeast here at the moment. We're going to pull up the wind gust side of things here. Give it 1 second to load here. Let's see here. So we are seeing, here's the winds at the surface. Just give it 1 second here. It takes a little bit to load for some reason. But we are seeing maybe some gusty winds occurring with this. A lot of the winds are mostly going to be off the coast here. We are seeing this area of low pressure tracking right past it. So honestly, yeah, we are probably going to see maybe up to some instances over 30 knots. This is just sustained winds. So this is actually towards the surface. So, honestly, Andy, yeah, you probably are going to see some gusty winds out of the system here. Would definitely not be surprising. Okay, so guys, moving on here back to the instability side of things. So like I said, we do have the instability. We have the energy in the atmosphere, which is allowing for basically, all the instability in the atmosphere mixed with all of the, basically all the shear we have, which allows for the spin to kick off. Because we change basically wind direction as we go up in altitude, which does allow for basically spin to kick off, which allows for these tornadoes to kind of go off. So like I was saying here, I want to take a look here at the winds here, at the mid-levels and the lower levels of the atmosphere. So right now we're taking a look here at the winds at the mid-levels of the atmosphere. So this is kind of around the middle portion here of the atmosphere here. So we are seeing, based off of this, these little wind barbs are blowing themselves here to the northeast. Remember that. They're moving to the northeast. Now we're going to keep my pin here. Now we're going to take a look here at the lower level atmosphere. We're going to take a look here at the lower portions. So we can actually see it's a bit different. We're actually seeing more north-northeasterly flow. Something more like this. So basically, if you were to draw this like right above it, we'd be seeing basically a change in direction as you go from the lower portions of the atmosphere into the upper levels. So basically, this is showing that there is some change with wind direction as you go up in the atmosphere, which is actually allowing for the spin in the atmosphere to kick off. So this is going to allow for tornadoes to form here. Now, another key factor here, let's actually go back here a few frames, because like right when the storm system really starts to kind of kick off here, we're seeing a lot of screaming northerlies at the lower levels of the atmosphere. You can see it's way more pointing north compared to this. So let's try this one. Let's look back here at the mid-levels of the atmosphere, and there you go, same thing. Basically, now we're seeing the winds blow to the northeast. So we are seeing a huge change in wind directions from the lower levels of the atmosphere to the upper levels, which is allowing for spin in the atmosphere to occur and allowing for basically tornadoes to pop off. So this is what we are currently seeing at the moment. Now, another key factor, like I was saying here, is the fact that we need moisture at the surface. Now, we measure moisture here in our dew points. Typically, what you want to see for a system like this is your dew points here around the 50s and 60s. 70s is good too. So this is what we are seeing here. So in regard to things, here's your dew point map. Now, right now, we are seeing the dew points here relatively cold because actually we have all the winds that are pushing away from the coast right at the moment. But we're going to get some high pressure that builds in, and the opposite is going to, basically the opposite is going to happen here. So, as you can notice, all these dew points start moving their way up here into the southeast. This is what we call advection. We get a lot of this moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, because you got to think, in the Gulf of Mexico, it's warm, closer to the equator, more direct sunlight, more evaporation of the water in the Gulf of Mexico. So once the winds push towards the coast, this actually allows for all of that moisture to move its way into the southeast as well. So that's why we're seeing the raising dew points here. We're talking, 60s here. We're talking mid-60s, which is definitely supportive of severe weather to occur here. For thunderstorms to pop off, some instances here are actually showing maybe even near 70 dew points kind of kicking off here. So we are seeing the possibility of, honestly, we are seeing the possibility here of some thunderstorms that could pop off. Now, for tornadoes, you do need those rich dew points as well at the surface. So we do have that. We have our instability, which is basically just your storm's energy. We have enough fuel for thunderstorms to kick off. We have the winds, which is allowing for the spin in the atmosphere to take place, which is allowing for tornadoes to touch the ground. We have that in place, as well as our dew points here. We have our rich dew points here in the 60s, in some instances maybe even near the 70s. So we are seeing that occur. So we have all three of our ingredients we need for tornadoes to develop, which is not really some good news. Now, we're going to move on over here, guys. We're going to take a look here at the Storm Prediction Center side of things. So we're going to go ahead and move on to this here right now. So, in regard to your Storm Prediction Center, we actually do have a new discussion out right now. We have our new risk that is currently out here. So we have 2 days of severe weather we are expecting here to occur. Now, we're going to go ahead and start off with today. We're not really expecting... Andy says I just fixed my roof too. I'm sorry to hear that, Andy. I'm sure your roof will be fine. I don't think it's going to be anything too crazy, but honestly, we probably are going to see some gusty winds occurring. So for today, no severe thunderstorms expected. Tomorrow, same thing. Now day 3. So right now, today is Monday, right? So tomorrow would be day 2. Day 3 would be on Wednesday. So on Wednesday here, we do have the threat for severe weather across the areas here in the dark green and the yellow shaded areas here. The yellow is more susceptible and more vulnerable to severe weather. Basically, this is a higher risk, showing that you have a higher potential of seeing severe weather across the regions here. So, we are seeing the possibility. This does include bits of Dallas. And this yellow shaded area here, this is the worst shaded area here as of now. But stay tuned, this honestly could be upgraded down the line. The yellow shaded area here does include the major cities of Dallas, Texas, basically Oklahoma City, Tulsa, and as well as Arlington, Texas. You are inside of this yellow shaded area here. Now, in Little Rock, Arkansas, as well as Springfield, Missouri, we actually are here in the green shaded area here. So we are seeing the threat of severe weather. Now, we go ahead and scroll down here. They actually are talking about, the surface low developing here. And honestly, like we were saying here, we are expecting some supercells to develop here, which is actually allowing for tornadoes. So supercells are basically just rotating thunderstorms. Like I said, we do have that spin in the atmosphere. So we definitely are seeing that possibility of that actually occurring here. So this is for your day 3 outlook. This is for Wednesday, like I have been saying here. Now, kind of across this light green shaded area here, this is basically what we are seeing, just your generalized average thunderstorms popping off here. Nothing too extreme, but we are expecting maybe some thunderstorms to develop here. Now we move on to your day 4 outlook. This is for Thursday. Now, like I said, this system is tracking its way to the east here, and so does the severe threat along with it. This is trailing its way ahead of the cold front here. So we are actually seeing this 15% zone across bits of Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, as well as western portion here of Tennessee. We are actually seeing a threat going on here. And basically, this does include bits of Memphis, Tennessee, Birmingham, Alabama, as well as Baton Rouge, Montgomery, as well as Shreveport. So we are seeing those major cities that are inside of this at the moment. So we are definitely seeing the threat of severe weather. Like I said, tornadoes are going to be a major concern here because, like I said, we do have that strong lower level jet. All of that moisture and all that energy from the surface, all your winds blowing inland to the southeast. And like I said, as you go up in the atmosphere, the wind direction changes to the northeast. So there is a bit of change, which is allowing for basically spin to kick off here in the atmosphere. With any thunderstorm that develops, unfortunately gives a threat of the possibility that you might actually see some tornadoes. I hate to say it, but it's definitely a concern here. Jenny says, hello, what's up, Jenny? Welcome to the live stream. I hope you're doing good. Glad to see you here today. So this is what we are currently monitoring. We are dealing with the potential of severe weather. And like I said, there is a winter side to this event as well. I guess we should go ahead and go into that right now. So let's go ahead and switch on over to our winter side of things. Because like I said, we are seeing the possibility here. Let's go and see here. What if you see a 30% on day 8? How rare is that? Andy, that's very rare. You rarely see that. I don't even know if that's ever happened. Because basically, that far out, there's a lot that can still change that many days out here. So guys, first up, we're going to take a look here at the GFS model. This is your long-range American model. Let's go ahead and switch on over back to our main scene here. So this is your GFS model. This is your long-range American model in regard to things here. So this is essentially what we are dealing with at the moment. Let's go ahead and move my keyboard here. So I can actually click on this. So we actually moved down here in time. Now, first of all, actually what first I should probably show you is back on our radar view here right now. So we have all this moisture you can see currently in place across bits of the region here. Across the regions here, Northman Weather Channel said, what's up, buddy? What's up, Northman? I'm glad to see you here. Hope you're having a great day so far. So like I said, we are currently seeing all of this moisture here across the upper northwest. Now, this is going to be playing a major role, a major key role in terms of what we can expect here. So all of this moisture you're going to see will drive its way into the central portions of the United States. A new area of low pressure will develop here, and this will actually start to kick off some moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. Now, what's going to happen here, we're going to switch on back to the models so you can see exactly what we're talking about. So like I said, we are currently seeing all that moisture in play across the upper northwest that was on the radar view. Let's go and see here. Slight risk for Wednesday, supposed to change to enhance. You know, honestly, it's not as certain, but it's a possible scenario here, definitely. So we move down here in time. So this is according to your GFS model. So like I said, all this moisture drives its way into the central portion of the country. You can see it start to move its way on the eastern Rockies here. That new area of low pressure develops across the central plains here. That cold front starts to develop. We get all of this moisture really starts to kind of pull up here from the Gulf of Mexico. So we start to get a lot of heavy snow, you know, once that colder air backs down on the system. Because like I said, these systems work in a pretty amazing way here, which is absolutely crazy. They actually work in a pretty cool way. So these systems, they rotate counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere. So they rotate like this. They spin counterclockwise. So you can imagine the higher you go up north, the more colder it does get. So basically, we get all of this cold air that drives its way down from up north. So this is honestly, you know, making the atmosphere more cold at the lower and upper levels of the atmosphere here. So this is what we are seeing here. So then we have the opposite effect, because like I said, the further you go down south, the more warmer things get. So we actually do have all of that warm air driving its way up on the eastern side. So this is actually bringing in fuel and moisture along with it. Because like I said, the further you go down south, the more direct sunlight you get, more evaporation like from the Gulf of Mexico, because it's full of moisture. And so we are seeing basically a lot of moisture being shot up into the states here, which is going to fuel the storm, giving it more energy and more things it needs to develop here. Let's go see. Andy says, is low pressure strong? Or is the low pressure strong? The answer is yes. Actually, we are expecting this thing to get pretty strong. The GFS model has this thing getting in the 980s. Yeah, once it reaches the northeast, we actually see the pressure drop here in the 980s. So this is currently what we are seeing here at the moment. Now, so we're going to start to see some snow that will start to form across bits of the central plains here. As that colder air, like I said, backs down from the north, we're going to start to see a lot of that precipitation change from rain into more snow and ice across these regions here. So this is what we are currently monitoring here. Now, kind of across this purple shaded area here, we are actually seeing a lot of sleet involved. This kind of, you know, orange shaded area, we actually are seeing a lot of freezing rain here. So, like I said, we can really start to see this cold front starting to take place here, with all of that cold air wrapping behind this area of low pressure, pushing against the backside of the cold front, and all that warm, moisture-rich air driving its way ahead of the cold front here. So, this is what we are seeing here at the moment. Now, we are going to start to see a lot of heavy snowfall fall across bits of the central plains and through the Midwest, as well as bits of the Ohio Valley. I mean, the latest frame here, looking like Michigan, is going to be impacted quite heavily here. I mean, look at this. We're seeing that area of low pressure just track right south under the state here. potentially delivering a lot of heavy ice. If you guys know anyone who lives in Michigan, give them a heads up about this, because we are expecting a pretty crazy system to occur here. We'll get to accumulations here in 1 second, because honestly, the GFS model has actually been very, very aggressive recently. So like I said, we're going to start to see this area of low pressure track its way here into the central portion here of the country for the late portions here of the 16th, so the day after tomorrow. So this would be for Wednesday. So Wednesday is whenever this thing's going to, kind of kick off here. So this is what we're going to see here. So basically, as we do track down here to the east, we're getting more of that moisture building here. We get a lot of heavy snowfall starting to fall across the central portion of the country and central portion of the plains, and through bits of the Midwest and to the Ohio Valley here. Now let's go ahead and move on here to the accumulations factor. Let's see how much snow we are expecting out of this system here. So let's see exactly how much we are seeing here. So this is according to your GFS model. Now I want to go ahead and say, guys, you really shouldn't trust one model individually, so just get an idea based off of what this model has to say here. So as we do track down here in time, we get the accumulation of all that snow across the western side of the country, as we were seeing all of that moisture in play. Now this will be the first stage of the system. Once that area of low pressure starts to kind of get a kick in, here we go. Here comes the heavy accumulations here. So this is what we are seeing here. So basically, across this light blue shade area here, we are expecting maybe 1 to 3 inches of snow, 3 to 5 across the dark blue. Now once we kind of reach this pink shaded area here, this is where we are seeing a bit of snowfall. This is where snowfall starts to get kind of more aggressive here. We're seeing 6 to 10 inches across this pink shaded area here. Now across kind of this maroon red shaded area here, we are seeing the possibility of over a foot of snow. This does include eastern Kansas, northern Missouri, southeastern portion here of Iowa, as well as bits of central Michigan. So this is what we are seeing here at the moment. Now like I said, this is one model. You can't trust this individually. So let's move on here to our European model. And the fact of things, let's move on here to the European model. So this is your ECMWF. So this model is showing things a bit differently, as you will notice here. Now it's still showing that same system happening here. And so this one's actually showing more of the snow impacting, more of the heavier snow here, basically across this pink shade here. So this one doesn't really show it getting up to a foot. So that's what we're saying. We are seeing some major key differences here between what your American model has to say and your European model has to say here. Now look at this. We are seeing the possibility of 6 to 10 inches across bits of Kansas, shooting right through the central portion of Missouri, central portion here of Illinois, northern portion here of Indiana, as well as basically the southern portion here of Michigan. We are seeing that happen here. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a small circle here, kind of riding on the track here of what we are seeing at the moment. So this is what we are seeing here. Let's go see. Andy says, if there was a 30% chance on day 8, that would be a very fatal tornado outbreak. Honestly, it's more of a confidence factor than potential. The 30% is showing that it's more severe versus 15. But the further it goes out and they issue it that, it's more a confidence level at that point. So we're looking here right now. So this is your European model in terms of your snow track. Now remember this. We're going to go ahead and go up one, go back down to your GFS. We're going to shift back down. So this is right where basically this model had to say that. So we're going to go ahead and move on over here. We're going to take a look here at the accumulation factor out of your GFS model. Now this one's actually showing that shifted way more north here. This is actually way more north. So we are seeing essentially this snow track delivering more of that snow way more north. So what we are seeing here is that there is still a bit of disagreement between the models. So this is obviously not too good, because this is actually showing that there is still a bit of disagreement between the models here in both intensity as well as both track. So this is something that we need to continue monitoring here, and we need to continue watching out, because we really need to iron this out here over the next little bit here, because we are seeing a lot of fluctuations between the track as well as intensity here. So this is what we are seeing here. Courtney says, what's up? What's up, Courtney? Welcome to the live stream here. I hope y'all are having a great day so far. Hope you guys have been staying safe here. If you have any questions, guys, feel free to throw them down in the chat below. I'll definitely try to get to them for you all. Honestly, like I said, safety is the #1 concern here. We're trying to give you guys all the information you need to know to be prepared for the system here. So this is currently what we are monitoring here across the nation. Now we're going to go ahead and switch on over here to our, I guess we should go ahead and take a look here at the National Weather Service forecast in regard to things. So this is for your Basically, we're going to take a look here at the snowfall accumulation over the next 48 hours. So like I said, we are currently seeing all of that moisture across the western side of the country here. We are currently seeing that happen here at the moment. Now, this is actually going to basically allow for a lot of that accumulation to occur across the upper elevations here of the Rockies. So we are seeing instances, like I said, across the pink area, maybe 6 to 10 inches, 3 to 5 across the dark blue, 1 to 3 across the light blue. Now, like I said, this is over the next 2 days. This does not include the main bulk of the system. But as we do ever so grow closer, we will start to see this change. This does show a little bit of snow impacting bits of the upper Midwest into the northern plains here. Maybe a little bit from Michigan as well. Maybe some lake effect snow across bits of New York, according to this. That is going on here. So this is what we are seeing here. Let's go and see here. Andy says, what model will be right vote? 1 for Euro or 2 for GFS? You know, honestly, it's quite early to tell. We are seeing such we're seeing such crazy differences between these two models here. And like I said, you really can't trust one model individually. So that is what we are seeing here at the moment. There is still a lot of disagreements between these models, and this is something we need to continue monitoring here over the next little bit. I should probably change this to our national forecast so that people don't get mistaken for this. So like I said, we're going to go ahead and switch on over here, guys, to our radar view. So this is our current view across the nation. This is currently what is going on here at the moment. We are seeing a lot of our moisture that is currently happening here across the upper northwest. So this, like I said, this is stage 1. This is stage 1 of the system. This is just the birth of the system here. So stage 2 is all of this moisture you see here driving its way down to the central part of the country. That's stage 2. Stage 3 is getting a kick from the Gulf of Mexico and severe weather starts to occur. Stage 4 is the system tracks its way up here to the northeastern states. So right now we're on stage 1. We're starting to see the beginning birth portion of the system occur. So this is currently what is going on right now. But guys, we're going to go ahead and take a break here for a minute. We've actually been live here for quite a while here. So when we come back, we'll give you guys some more latest information in regard. We'll go back over what we already talked about here. So guys, stay tuned for that. If you guys are new to the channel, consider subscribing here. We're almost at 400 subscribers. So guys, we greatly appreciate it. Bring your friends and family in here. Make sure you tell them to subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated. If you guys do want to support the channel, we do have our donations in the description below as well as on the chat. You guys can check it out. But guys, we'll be back here momentarily. So catch you all here in a moment.
Dominant wave period 5 seconds. For Tuesday night, southeast winds 18 to 23 knots, increasing to 20 to 25 knots. Seas 3 to 5 feet. Dominant wave period 6 seconds. And for Wednesday, southeast winds 20 to 25 knots, diminishing to 18 to 23 knots. Seas 5 to 7 feet. Dominant wave period 7 seconds. Tidal information at the mouth of the Mobile River on Monday. Low tide at 9:16 a.m. High tide at 10:31 p.m. At the mouth of the Mobile River on Tuesday. Low tide at 9:39 a.m. High tide at 11:20 p.m. At Pensacola Bay on Monday. Low tide at 7:52 a.m. High tide at 9:27 p.m. At Pensacola Bay on Tuesday. Low tide at 8:20 a.m. High tide at 10:07 p.m. At the East Pass in Destin on Monday. Low tide at 7:18 a.m. High tide at 8:54 p.m. At the East Pass in Destin on Tuesday. Low tide at 7:46 a.m. High tide at 9:34 p.m. The following marine observations were made as of 4 p.m. Mobile Bay Coast Guard Station. Winds for south at 9 knots. Sea temperature 54 degrees. Air temperature 56 degrees. Middle Bay Lighthouse. Winds for south at 12 knots. Weeks Bay. Air temperature 60 degrees. Pensacola Bay. South winds at 7 knots. Air temperature was 55 degrees. The report from the east end of Dauphin Island was not available. And Petty Boy Island, southwest winds at 12 knots. Air temperature was 61 degrees. 70 miles south of Dauphin Island, winds were north at 6 knots. Air temperature was 58 degrees. Gulf water temperature 75 degrees. Wave heights 1 foot, with a period of 3 seconds. 12 miles south of Orange Beach. Winds for southwest at 8 knots. Sea temperature on 1 foot. For Tuesday night, east winds 10 to 15 knots, increasing to 13 to 18 knots. Waves 1 to 2 feet.
Alrighty, guys, we are back. Sorry about the wait here. So this is what we are taking a look at. I turned off my blue LEDs because they're actually getting kind of crazy. After a while of blue LEDs, it kind of messes with your vision. But anyways, guys, I hope y'all are having a great day so far. Hope you guys have been staying safe here. So we're taking a look here at the current views across the nation. We are actually seeing a lot of moisture across the upper northwest here at the moment. So all of this is currently ongoing. Oh, didn't want to do that. So we are actually seeing all of this moisture across the upper northwest. A lot of snow shower activity across these regions here. So we are currently seeing all this occur here. So basically, this is going to be the beginning portion of this upcoming system. Like I said, we are expecting basically this pretty large-scaled system to occur. We are expecting a lot of severe weather across the south, as well as a lot of winter weather across the central parts of the country here. We are actually talking the potential of maybe some tornadoes, unfortunately, being a concern here, as well as, you know, honestly, some severe weather, or like I said, severe weather, as well as ice and snow as well. We are expecting a lot of heavy impacts to occur out of the system here. So we're going to go ahead and take a look here back at the models here. I actually want to go ahead and discuss what's going on here in regard to things. So we're going to go ahead and switch on back over to our screen here, guys. So this is our current screen. We're actually going to take a look here at the COD Meteorology. This is a really good website for when you look at severe weather events. This is honestly my go-to, even over pivotal weather, whenever it talks about severe weather occurring. So, like I said before, guys, we need to look at a few different factors here. There is a few different things that is going on at the moment. We actually are seeing multiple of these ingredients coming together here. So, you know, honestly, what we're seeing here. So we're going to go ahead and go over that here right now. So what is going on here at the moment? So we're going to take a look here at the instability side of things. Because like I said, basically to have thunderstorms, you need instability. Basically just thunderstorm fuel. Andy says, is Windfinder accurate? I have no idea. I never used Windfinder. But like I said, we're going to take a look here at the instability side of things. This is basically just simply your thunderstorm's fuel here. So right now, this is actually picking up the winds here at the mid levels of the atmosphere. You can actually see they're all blowing their way to the south here at the moment. So all of this is moving its way down to the south. Now, what's going to happen as we do track down here in time, you'll notice we'll get some high pressure building in the states here. This will actually shift up all of that air, all of that warm and moisture-filled air driving its way up into the southeast. So right now it's pointing to the south. It's going to turn and do it at 180 and go to the north. So this is actually going to allow for all the instability to kick in because we already have that cold atmosphere in the mid-levels of the atmosphere here at the moment. So basically, because we are in the middle of wintertime, obviously, you know, this is the coldest time of the year, and we are seeing all of, you know, this warm interaction between at the surface with all of this wind that moves its way down here in the region to shift its way up here to the south, basically up to the southeast here. So what's going to happen is we're actually going to get some instability, basically some clashing between that warm moisture-filled air as well as that cold and dry air across the mid-levels of the atmosphere. So we are actually seeing basically this instability kind of building. We're talking, you know, energy here of 600 joules per kilogram, which is definitely enough for severe weather to occur here. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a sounding here across bits of southeastern Louisiana. We're going to take a sounding here and basically get an idea. Let's go and move my pen here out of the way. So I know you guys are likely don't know how to read these soundings here, so I'm going to explain what is going on here at the moment. So as you'll notice, there's a whole bunch of fidgety things here going on the screen at the moment. So this is basically this column right here. This is the column we're paying attention to right here at the moment. So essentially what this is basically taking the temperature of the atmosphere from the lower portions to the upper portions of the atmosphere. So you can imagine this right here. This is the lower portion of the atmosphere. This is the middle portion of the atmosphere. This is the upper portion of the atmosphere. So you'll notice right here, this little 0 mark, this is your 0 degrees Celsius. This is your freezing line, and it goes diagonal. Because as you're going up in the atmosphere here, this is basically what goes on. So all of this is below freezing. All of this and this side of the graph. So let's go see. Next, this course says, hey, I just got here. I live in Forney, Texas. Let's go see which is east of Dallas. How bad will storms be? Because I'm not very good with bad storms. That is a good question. We are expecting some pretty nasty storms to occur. We'll get to that more here in 1 second here. So hang tight, Nexus. We'll get to that more here right in 1 second. But right now we're taking a look here at southeastern Louisiana. here at the moment. So we are actually seeing, basically at the surface, so this is basically your wind profile. So this is showing wind direction here. So this is showing that the winds are moving its way here to the northeast. And as we go up in the atmosphere, towards the mid-levels, it's moving its way to the north, or basically east-northeast. So we are seeing, at the surface, we're actually seeing the winds change direction, which actually allows spin in the atmosphere to take off here, which allows for, unfortunately, the threat of tornadoes. Now, let's go and see. Next it says, basically talking about eastern Texas. So let's actually talk about that here right now. I think that's a good thing we should pull up. So we're taking a look here now. We're switching on over here. This is your Storm Prediction Center. This is basically your main people. These are your real forecasters, your main forecasters here. So you said across bits of eastern Texas. Now, if you are in the green shade area here, you are in the green or the yellow, you are in the threat for severe weather here. And honestly, you know, the yellow being more worse, the green being a little bit less extreme. But this does include, you know, the main areas here that this does include. I don't know exactly where Forney, Texas is to be exact, but I can tell you, basically, if you are in this green shade area, if you know how to read a map, if basically here in this green shade area here, or the yellow, depending on where you're at, you are in the threat for severe weather. Now, across the yellow, we have an even larger threat. And like I said, tornadoes are a threat for both the yellow and the green shaded areas here, unfortunately. So this does include, the yellow shade area here does include the major cities of Dallas, basically bits of Oklahoma City, Tulsa, as well as Arlington, Texas. The green shade area here does include bits of Shreveport, Little Rock, Springfield, Waco, as well as bits of Albany, across the regions here inside of the green area. So these are the areas we are expecting severe weather to occur. So guys, like I said, this is what we are seeing. And of course, we do move here into our day 4 outlooks. This is for Wednesday. This is for Wednesday right here. So for day 4, this is for Thursday, that threat shifts its way to the east here. So basically, we have this whole entire system here. We are actually seeing here. Let's go and see. Next it says, I'm in yellow, like 40 minutes east of Dallas. So if you are in the yellow, next is you need to continue monitoring this because you are in the threat for, unfortunately, some severe weather. And like I said, tornadoes are going to be a concern here. So right now, so basically what this is showing here, to give you more of a visual on how bad these storms are expected to get here, the yellow shaded area here is basically showing that you are in severe threat level 2 out of 5. 5 being the worst, 1 being the lowest. 1 is across the green, 2 is across the yellow. So you're in the threat of 2 out of 5, but this is still 3 days out. So this can still likely change and get upgraded. That's the thing. This thing can still likely be upgraded here. So this is what we are monitoring here at the moment. So like I said, we do move on to the day 4 outlook. This is for Thursday here. So we have this area of low pressure that's across bits of the central plains here. This is tracking its way basically to the east-northeast and dragging this cold front along with it. So this will actually allow for the severe weather to move along with it. We get all of this cold air backing behind this area of low pressure here, as well as all of this warm air from the Gulf of Mexico fueling this system here in front of it. So this is actually going to allow for this to occur. But next is, like I said, you know, stay safe. I hope you are going to be okay. I'm sure you'll be fine. Just make sure that you're a little bit on, you know, make sure that you're continuing to monitoring this event. Like I said, we are going to be going live during this event. So next is, if you want to stay up to the latest day information, consider subscribing. That'll be greatly appreciated. We are actually trying, we're actually almost here at 400 subscribers. It'd be greatly appreciated for one, but also, obviously safety is the #1 concern here. And like I said, we will be going live here during the time. Let's go and say, do you know if it's during the night or during the day? That is a good question here. So, this is actually going to take place over quite a bit of hours here. So we'll actually take a look here back at the forecast models to show you when this is kind of going to kick off here. So we're going to take a look here at Tropical Tidbits here. We're going to take a look here at the NAM 3-kilometer model. I think this one goes out this far. Pretty sure. No, it just goes barely out that far. Okay, so we'll actually move here. So this actually looks like it's going to take place here early morning, according to this, across bits of eastern Texas. Because you can see right here, the area of low pressure is located right here across the central part of the country. So this actually does move its way up here. So yeah, we are actually seeing, maybe towards the early morning hours here for the 17th. So we are actually seeing this. But this will actually track its way to the east. Like I say, this will bring the severe threat along with it here, basically to the east here. So yeah, so this will impact, through a lot of hours here, basically starting here on the early morning hours here on the 17th, and it will pretty much take off here all the way till the early morning hours here on the 18th is kind of what we are expecting here. So this is what we are seeing. Okay, so guys, we're going to move on back here, back to what we were talking about. We're going to move back to COD meteorology here, basically in regard to things. So we're going to take a look here. I didn't want to look at satellite. That's not what we were. That's not what I want to take a look at. But we're going to take a look here back at the models here real quick for you guys. We're going to take a look here. GFS again. We're going to take a look at the southeast now, because like I said, southeast is kind of where we are monitoring the heaviest potential here for severe weather. This is kind of where we are seeing all of the severe weather kind of unfold here. So, essentially what's going on here is we're going to take a look here at a few ingredients. Now, first we're going to take a look here at the instability side of things. So, this is basically your thunderstorms fuel in short terms. So, this is what we are seeing here. It does look like my camera decided that it wanted to give out here, which it has done that many times before. So, give me 1 second here. Let's go ahead and turn it off. Maybe if I turn it back on. Hopefully it'll come back on if I turn it back on. Maybe, maybe not. I think I may have broke the program, guys. So, sorry about that. Let's go see here. Next it says, I'll make sure to have alerts on my phone. I'm not good at staying up. I really, really appreciate it, Nexus. Thank you so much for it. But like I said, guys, we are currently dealing with this. My camera did decide it was going to freeze on me, so that is what we are dealing with. Unfortunately, I can't use my face cam anymore. So, but like I said, we are monitoring several ingredients that is going on here at the moment. So basically what we're taking a look here at first, this is basically your instability in the atmosphere. So basically what happens is we are getting all of this energy, all of this moisture from the Gulf of Mexico driving its way up here. Because like I said, across a lot of the layers of the atmosphere right now, it's actually really, really cold because we are in the middle of wintertime. Now, once all this warm moisture here comes up from the Gulf of Mexico, this will actually interfere with all of that cold air, allowing for instability to build in place here. So, this is what we are dealing with at the moment. So, we'll actually see all this instability start to kind of build in here, really kind of starting here across bits of eastern Texas. This is for the early morning hours here on the 17th. For bits of, pretty much just east of Dallas here, we are seeing, instability not too high, honestly. Instability is kind of low. We'll even take a sounding here across the region. We'll see what we're dealing with here. But we are seeing this actually occur. So, honestly, this is honestly showing we definitely still have that turn in the atmosphere. This is a contaminated sounding. Really shouldn't go off of this, though. But we are seeing that turn in the atmosphere, which is allowing for the threat for tornadoes to pop off, which is unfortunately a concern here. But a lot of the heaviest event will kind of kick off here, pretty much across bits of the 17th. Kind of across the afternoon hours here on the 17th, across Louisiana. This thing will track its way to the east here. So basically, what we are seeing here at the moment, Andy says, when my neighbor pine tree bends, when the ground rises up. That's crazy. That's probably caused by the saturated ground. Usually after like a rain or something. That's crazy. Yeah, I would definitely look at that, because that could honestly probably fall soon if you get a really strong wind gust to occur. So, like I said, we are currently seeing all this. So I want to take a look here at the winds in the atmosphere, because basically the winds are showing a very large component, a very, very strong key component here when it comes to these events. I'm going to try to get my camera back up, because for some reason it was being stupid here. But we're taking a look here at the winds in the middle portion of the atmosphere. And so basically what you want to see is the winds changing direction here. So we are seeing basically across the middle of the atmosphere all the winds blowing themselves to the northeast. Now watch this. We'll actually go back here a little bit. Kind of right when the system starts to kind of kick off here. So we're seeing all these winds blow themselves to the northeast here. Now if we take a look here, this is at the mid levels of the atmosphere. If we take a look at the lower levels of the atmosphere for the same hour, we'll notice here at the surface, all of our winds are actually moving them way to the north. So what we are seeing is that basically, as we go up in the atmosphere, at the lower levels, it's moving to the north. And as we go up in the atmosphere, it turns to the northeast. So we are actually seeing a lot of, we are seeing that wind direction change, which is allowing for spin in the atmosphere to take place here. So this is kind of our main concern here. So between our instability and our shear here, or basically in terms of winds, there is enough instability and motion in the air to cause tornadoes to occur, unfortunately. Now, like I said, there is one more major ingredient to occur here. This is your dew point temperature. So this is kind of what we are seeing. Basically, we have all of this instability start to kind of build in. So we can see all of that air starts to move its way up here to the north. This will start to build in all those heavy dew points here. We're talking dew points here in the 60s across the region. This will really start to kind of build in things quite crazily. Let's go and see here. I swear these types of storms always happen at night for me. Honestly, it kind of seems like that sometimes. A lot of the storms really kind of do happen in terms of night, because that's kind of when the atmosphere is fully heated up at the surface. And the morning is kind of the less likely scenario here. Let's go see. Andy says I was doing it the other day, ground rising up, and yeah, that's not good. That's really not good, Andy. Like I said, if that gets a big enough wind gust, that actually might come falling down. That's something that's not good here. But we are seeing our dew points here, like you said. For these systems, you kind of do want to see dew points here in the 50s, especially the 60s and 70s. We are seeing dew points here almost in the 70s. So we have our instability, we have our moisture content, and we have our instability, or basically our shear here. So we are seeing all three of our ingredients here, which does unfortunately allow for severe weather to take place. So guys, like I said, please stay safe with this. If you have any questions, feel free to throw them down in the chat below. I'll definitely try to get to them for you guys, because honestly, safety is the #1 concern here. But we'll continue monitoring this over the next little bit. So, alright, so guys, that's essentially what we are dealing with here. Honestly, I wasn't planning on going live for too long. I think we're going to go ahead and call it a stream here. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure you leave a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new. I'd be greatly appreciated. If you guys do want to support out the stream, we do have our donations in the description as well as in our chat. It'd be greatly appreciated. You guys are the best. I really appreciate it. Like I said, we are going to be going live here over the next few days. So like I said, not only today that we do a live stream, we're going to be doing a live stream tomorrow and the day after, as well as the day that we are seeing. We are going to be going live pretty much for the next several days here, because we are expecting the severe weather to kick off. So we are going to be going live here over the next several days to give you guys all the latest information regarding this thing. So guys, stay tuned for that. But guys, honestly, thank you all so much for joining here. Thank you all to the people who are, supporting the channel. It's greatly appreciated. You guys are the best. Special shout out to Jenny. Once again, Jenny always helps out the streams. I really appreciate it, Jenny. So thank you so much. Andy, you too. Thank you for joining. Everyone here, thank you all so much for joining tonight. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day here. We're gonna go ahead and switch on over to the stream is ending screen here. So guys, like I said, once again, thank you all so much for joining. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Andy says it's bending right over his garage. That's not good. Andy, that's probably going to cause some pretty bad scenarios down the line here. Next it says, thank you. I'm also definitely going to move to a big city. I can't deal with storms like these. I don't blame you. Honestly, Texas, yeah, you guys down there can definitely get some pretty crazy storms. And across southeastern states, that's definitely kind of a concern here. But guys, like I said, once again, thank you all so much for joining. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night. Like I said, we will be going live here tomorrow. I'm not exactly sure when we're going to be going live. Maybe around, I want to say maybe around 6 or 7 p.m. So kind of around this time tomorrow, we'll probably be going live. Tonight we did it a little bit earlier because we didn't get a video out today, which, honestly, is all right. It's just as long as, because we're here right now. That's the fact. We give you guys the latest information here. But like I said, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to throw them down in the chat below. If you guys, are new to the channel, consider subscribing. That'd be greatly appreciated. But guys, once again, thank you all so much for joining us tonight. I hope you all have a wonderful day today. And guys, I will catch you all here in our future streams. But guys, hope you all have a wonderful night.